are live, all in on high school sports. Kurt Valenti, Jennifer Valenti, how are you?
I'm well, thank you. How are you?
I'm pretty good. 1 week away from turning 38, so I'm
Yeah,
excited about that.
okay. Am I a decade off on
I
that
got
one?
the eight. I got the eight right. But no, another big. Hey, state semifinals now.
Yeah.
Congratulations to all the state sectional champions. We'll get into that later on. But
Hmm.
listen, now we're for the money, right? I mean, you're 2 games away, and there's Coach Breslin. Looking forward to a great show. The guest picker was really bad last week. LOL, was he?
I don't know that he was really bad. We broke even. He was 9-9, the guest picker, but he had a
Okay.
stellar performance the week before.
He got the guest picker back to respectability. Let's
Yes,
say
yes, definitely, definitely.
that. We'll get into that. Just came back. Give a shout out. We're at teacher convention.
We are.
While I'll just say somebody was napping. I was watching the Northern Highlands Ramapo game. We'll get into that in a little bit. Yeah, let's listen. What do you got? What do you got? What do we got tonight? What's going on? I
Well,
mean, I know we got a lot going on. So
We do. So tonight we're going to welcome Coach Darnell Grant from the West Orange High School football. They were recently crowned the North 2 Group 5 sectional champion, first in school history. So we'll welcome him to the program. We'll be rejoined by our friend of the show, Robert Sauerwein, high school football aficionado. He'll be our guest picker this week. He'll also offer some insight. He watched the Westwood game live last week, Westwood versus Rutherford.
and what a game!
Yeah,
What
well,
a game!
to quote him, he said best high school football game he's ever seen. So, yeah, but we'll save that for him and let him break that down a little bit for us. So we don't want to steal his thunder.
Okay,
And that's really the agenda this evening. We'll do
got a couple quick hitters, which we're going to
say,
start
gonna
with.
use that to kind of recap the games a little bit. Some
Okay.
quick hitters. We do want to thank our sponsors before we get going. Right, we have Smoky Beard, our friend Mr. Rob O'Neill, who makes his homemade rubs for
Who?
cooking.
Rob
Rob
O'Neill.
Neely, sorry,
Rob
Rob
O'Neill.
Neely, sorry.
You gave him a new name.
I did. Sorry about that, Rob. Kimber's Tots preschool program in Bergen County. My good friend Michelle St. Pierre, agent of Modern Travel, actually did a nice post today on Facebook about this being her work anniversary for starting her travel
Congratulations.
business. Yeah, and she's helped hundreds and hundreds of families. She's really a Disney specialist, but she has really planned trips for families all over the world. So we're going to be using her. We'll be tapping into her resources for our trip this summer. So looking forward to that. And our final sponsor, Girls Got Game. If you're looking for a little more playing opportunities for girls who are pursuing flag football
At
it's an
any age, which is the big thing.
growing
Any
sport.
age.
It is now, as we've highlighted on our show, at the high school level, but young girls are playing, and this is a great place for them to get instruction, play in leagues, camps, tournaments, and like you said, at all ages, from youth
Yes.
to adult. So it's nice to see that those opportunities are now out there for girls to take advantage of. Before we go on, I did want to mention something a little close to my heart. My thoughts and prayers are with the University of Virginia community. It's my alma mater after the tragic loss of 3 football players due to gun violence there. It's been a rough football season for UVA. First year coach Tony Elliott, but I would be remiss if I did not recognize what he has done for his team and his players and that university in the face of adversity. We often talk about, on this show about being the leader of men.
Yep.
And you know what? Despite what their record is, he has, I've been so impressed with how he has handled.
Well, it's more important.
has
It's
gone
way
on.
more important.
I think it's a stark reminder of just that. We also talk about on the show how athletics teaches life lessons, and he has pulled his team together and for the big picture here.
Again, thoughts and prayers. And you know what? We were talking about this off the air, obviously, yesterday, but when it's like, they're showing, again, obviously, you went there, you graduated from there. So when they're showing parts of the place and you're just like, I mean, I know exactly where they're talking about. It hits home a little more.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a shame. It really is. It's a shame. We'll probably talk about a little more about this tomorrow, too, on our K&K show. But again, thoughts and prayers to everybody, involved.
All right, you want to get into our quick hitters?
Yeah, let's get into the quick hitters.
All right, I'm up first on the quick hitters. So
Okay.
if I ask the question, you'll answer
Yes,
first,
we're
and
gonna
vice
we
versa.
rehearse this during dinner.
Just a little reminder for Mr. Valenti.
Yep.
Okay. Most surprising victory from competition this weekend. Give me a public school surprise and a non-public surprise.
Without a doubt, I'm going Northern Highlands. I sat here last week saying that there's no way that they're going to beat Ramapo at Ramapo after last year's game. And not only that, but Ramapo was down 14. Ramapo then goes up 14. And I'm sitting there like, that's it. They're done. And listen, Coach Cord and that team, man, they are resilient. So I'm going to go Northern Highlands on the public side. And on the Catholic, I'm going to go Del Barton. Del Barton with an upset at Seton Hall Prep. Hey, Seton Hall Prep was the number 3 team in the state.
St. Peter's Prep.
I'm sorry, St. Peter. What did I say?
Seton Hall Prep.
Yeah. Sorry, St. Peter's Prep. And I'm going to go Del Barton. I mean, I'll be honest, the way they beat them too, shocker.
I'm going to have to agree with you, especially on the non-public. And also, again, not because I didn't think Del Barton was... We've talked about that.
Of course.
Not because they weren't capable of beating them, but I really thought St. Peter's Prep would so badly want that rematch with Bergen Catholic that was going to be motivation enough.
Yep.
But sometimes it can work against you. You're looking ahead, so... I agree with you on the non-public side, Del Barton. I actually wrote down 2 schools for my public. Northern Highlands was one as well. And again, not because we didn't think that they're capable of beating them,
absolutely.
but because of the emotional factor.
Right,
of
that buzzsaw they had to go
exactly.
into.
What was, last year's revenge factor.
And then to be down 14 points.
Field. Right,
right. With like 7-8 minutes left.
Well, we knew that crucial turning point was that... the
15-yard penalty.
Right.
It was big.
But I also put, and who our guest is tonight, West Orange as kind of my most surprising. Again, not because, and we talked about this last week.
Sucking up to the guests already?
I'm not. I want it to not be seen as a negative that I'm saying it was a surprise because... Again, the convincing fashion in which they beat an undefeated Phillipsburg team. So I thought that was very impressive. All right,
okay.
You're up.
Mr. Kirkpatrick, evening all, a little late, but ready for another awesome episode of All in High School Sports. And someone picked the Del Barton upset. I wonder who. By the way, hint, Mr. Kirkpatrick was smoking hot last week.
He did.
All right, mine. Most impressive team last week.
Okay. Well, I kind of already mentioned it. I think I can piggyback off of my Northern Highlands and West Orange. I thought it was impressive. But in addition to those 2 teams, I'm going to go with Caldwell because I thought they just won in impressive fashion last week.
Coach Breslin agreed, Jenny, to go to Phillipsburg and beat them convincingly. What a great job. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm with you. Most impressive. I mean, we watched Newton and Ramsey. And Newton is a legit powerhouse. And I'm telling you, Caldwell toyed with them last week. Caldwell is just, I'm telling you this, and I'm not joking around because I know we had Coach on. That team can win in Group 3. That team might be able to win in Group 4. I mean, they are seriously on a public, I'm not going to say I'll put them in with the Catholic schools, but on a public school, listen, I'm not going to say they're going to win. They're going to be with everybody within Group 3, Group 4, Group 5. They're damn that good. So I'm going to go with them. You're up next.
I am up next. Okay. Between the non-publics and the public schools remaining in the state tournament, there are 2 4 seeds, a 5 seed, and 2 6 seeds still alive. Do any advance? You don't have to give me an amount.
Yes.
Oh, interesting. That's a little maybe preview. We'll have to see what you think when we get to our picks there.
You?
I'm Jenny Chalk. No.
Okay.
You're up.
Okay. Last week, we said we're going to have Robert on later on, but probably maybe the game of the year. I mean, again, Rutherford, the Ramapo Highlands. Again, I know that's probably going to be up for game of the year, but another one was the sectional final, Rutherford, Westwood. Unbelievable game. So there's probably, 30 seconds left. Westwood's up by 7. Rutherford quarterback Weber runs it in. Right away, Coach Dunn going for 2. Win it or lose it right there. Not just a regular game, a sectional final. 2 undefeated teams. So my question to you, did Rutherford do the right thing by going for 2 with 22 seconds left in that sectional final?
Nobody knows their team like the coach. So here I am being a Monday morning quarterback, or I guess in this case, a Sunday morning quarterback, right? I'm going to say no, because the rule of thumb that you have always taught me is on the road you go for 2, but at home, you go for the tie. However, and if I'm not mistaken, on the 2-point conversion, the quarterback did not run it in. They went for
They ran. Well, no. They ran. They basically went like a direct snap to their tailback, so the quarterback did not touch the ball.
So,
he was like,
so
it was almost. I don't want to say it's a wildcat
that's all
formation.
That's all I need, because
Right.
the only way I would have say go for 2 is if it's in that quarterback's hands.
And Coach Breslin making a great point. There was actually a penalty before that, so it actually brought it half the distance even more.
Okay.
So yes. So you're gonna say no.
I'm going to say no because of the general rule of thumb about the home team, if you're on the road, you go for the 2, and if you're the home team that you go push the overtime.
Okay.
But my caveat was I would have given him the green light if he had, you got a quarterback like Van Weber who did just run it in.
Right.
I would have put it in his hands, but he didn't put it in his hands either.
Right.
So
I'm going to go absolutely he did for one, and I'll tell you why. First off, you got the defense shell shock that you're 20 seconds away, you're scoring now. And the second thing is, I believe Rutherford's strength is their offense. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, how can I, listen, I'm not going to, they're still a good defensive team, but their strength is their offense.
Mm-hmm.
If you can't get a yard, you know what I'm saying? You're putting it on your offense to get, now, Westwood is a dynamite defense, but 1 yard with your offense, I'm taking that any day of the week. I am 100%, I'm going with that. That was the correct decision to go for. Let me read a couple comments real quick, and then we'll get to our last 2. Coach Bryce, no, he got that. Kenny, Kurt, Jenny Hoops is a teacher. She has to love chalk. Dr. John, AD from Irvington. Weequake over Cedar Grove was impressive to me. Watch the game. Weequake's defense really shut down Cedar Grove's high-power offense in the second half. It was really unexpected. I thought the final score that would be something like 45-42. Didn't think the Weequake defense would be able to limit the Cedar Grove offense like that. Coach Breslin, there was a penalty as well. Dr. John, hashtag Jenny Chalk. Okay, you're up.
Alrighty, so you just did did Rutherford do the right thing, right?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So far in state tournament action, we have had at least 1 shutout each week, sometimes multiple. Will there be a shutout this week?
I'm going to go no.
I'm going to agree.
There will not be a shutout.
I don't think there will either. Just too far in here. I don't think there's going to be a shutout. All right, your last
one. You can take one team. Okay? You can bank on one team to win their group. And I mean group, I mean the whole thing. They have to be state champs. Right now, who do you feel most confident in? Could be non-public, public, one team.
And just to clarify, we are talking about the whole group, right? Not
right,
like
state champs.
Because we have not dealt with
the
South and the Central.
Right.
Okay. I'm going Caldwell. I think the winner of Caldwell Westwood is going to win that group, but I'm going to go with Caldwell.
Me too.
Oh, whoa, interesting. We agreed a lot on these. That's a little frightening.
A couple of things. Kenny saying all in or not all in question. Should playoff games be played on a neutral field? We'll get into that because we're going to do an all in or not all in. So we will hold that.
That is actually my my all in or not all in.
And there's our good friend Robert. He's saying he trusted his offense, meaning I believe Coach Dunn with Rutherford.
Okay.
Okay.
We don't have Coach in yet. Do you want to jump to our all in or not all in before Coach Grant is not in yet? So
sure. So let's just start with Kenny's.
Well, hold on. It's mine, right? So let me.
You want to do yours first?
Well,
okay.
That's what his question is the one that I have.
Right? I didn't know that.
Well, I thought that's what you were just saying. Like my all in or not all in is having the group semifinals at a neutral location.
See, I just don't pay attention to you. Even though I wrote it down, I didn't know what yours. I just wrote mine.
So yeah, of course. That's a window into my world. So, having the group semifinals at a neutral location. So, for example, going into the public school group semifinals. All of the North is playing in at Franklin
Franklin.
High School, which is in, I believe, Somerset, and all of the Central versus South group semifinals are playing at Cherokee High School, which is very far south. So are you all in or not all in for that?
Again, I'm gonna just take this from experience. Okay, we played a lot of state championship games when we had to play at St. Mary's. We played them at College in New Jersey and places like that. And I'm gonna be honest, you're not gonna get like for prime example, how many people are gonna go and say, oh, we're going down to Franklin? Where you're gonna obviously get Westwood people, you're gonna get the Caldwell people, but the everyday people, like again, could they have done something at MetLife for the North? Could they have done it at, a newer like a Lyndhurst who just got a brand new field somewhere? A William Patterson, like we had a state championship game there. I'll be honest, I am not a fan of it. I'm not. There's too many games going on. To go all the way to Franklin. Like again, if you're affiliated with that school, yes. But if you're not, like I don't think you're gonna get the hey, let's jump over to Lyndhurst to watch this game. Let's go to Nutley to watch this game. Let's go to Bosco to watch this game. I don't know. I'm gonna say no. What about you?
I would imagine from a logistical standpoint, it's necessary to do it, and there's a lot of benefits to doing it. I'm not a fan though. Still, I understand the reasoning, but I just feel like for example, you have Westwood and Caldwell traveling down so
right, it's going to Franklin.
I understand you have to choose the venues beforehand. I get it, but now you've got like you said, you're going to be lucky that you get your tried and true fans and family members who are going to make the trip, but where it's going to be harder for that Caldwell community.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so
exactly.
That's the only negative
I'll be honest,
it.
I'm just not a fan.
So,
Again, I'm going to take it from experience, and don't get me wrong. We obviously had a big St. Mary's crowd, but when you look, it's it's just your St. Mary's people that are going, as opposed to if you play that game in a MetLife or even, at Becton or in Lyndhurst, or not, you're going to get everybody going there. Everybody. Yeah. Coach Breslin agreed for the North. Have them at one of the college locations close. William Patterson, Montclair State. That's what it should be.
Yeah.
I mean, why is Caldwell and Westwood going to Franklin?
Right. Even Cherokee is far south. So you have that's kind of advantageous to those southern schools, more southern schools. The central, I think Summit is in central New Jersey, and that's Union County. That's like the county next to Essex.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not again.
Listen, I'm not saying it's easy, and I understand the thinking, but I don't know. I don't know. It's.
So
tough.
I'm all out.
Yeah, I'm not all in either. All right.
Okay, can I do mine?
Yeah.
All right, mine. And we're getting back to this Rutherford game.
That was the same question Kenny had, right?
Yeah. Again, Kenny was saying all in, all in, should playoff games be played on neutral field? Maybe a neutral high school. For example, Wayne Valley undefeated had to play on the road. Didn't think that was fair. See, that I disagree. I mean, that's a ranking, and that's however they seed it, and that's the way it is. You know what I'm saying? That's like saying a college football poll who's 1, 2, 3, and 4. 2 has to play 3 to better. So I don't listen. However they wanted to rank them, they were the 3 seed. So I'm not. You got to have some home games. It's a playoff game. Here's I believe this is Dr. John. Kenny, Wayne Valley had to play on the road, though, undefeated because their UPR wasn't as high as the higher seeds, meaning some of their games were against lower competition that didn't have a high strength index. They had a great season, but Irvington was the number 1 seed in large part because of their tough schedule. We were 7-2 on the season. If teams want to be the number 1 seed and not go on the road, they need a schedule. I'm 1,000% with Dr. John on that. 1,000%. That you're going to see at 9:00 tonight. College football rankings are going to come out. People are going to go, yeah, but why is that team? Well, they're ahead of them because they're in a better conference. They got a better non-conference schedule, and I'm saying that's just the way it is. So, I'm 100% with Dr. John on that. All right, so I'll get back to mine. We're gonna, we'll start with Rutherford, but we could go this with any sport. Okay. Are you all in or not all in on game on the line? The ball, okay, is in your best player's hands. Now, and I'm going to say that. I'll go to basketball. If somebody's going to run 3 players at that player, I'm not expecting him to shoot over 3 players, okay? But, like as the case for Rutherford, should Weber, should that ball be in his hands, whether it's a run, a pass, a run-pass option, but he was just basically like, there's your Rutgers commit, not a Rutgers recruit, and all this recruit just standing on the side, like standing outside, and they didn't go to him. So are you all in or not all in that your best player, especially a game like that?
I understand the question.
Should have the ball in his hands.
100% all in. It's
I'm
easy.
100% all in too.
Yeah.
Again, a defense could take something away, but I want to go down with my best player. And that's my theory. I think, as a coach, I think as the team, and again, there could be something where like I said, a coach can go like in basketball and say triple team him or her,
right.
Then okay, that's a little different. But if it's going to be something straight up, let's go.
Yeah, I just think that's a no-brainer. Yeah. Yep.
So.
Right, well, you know what? Coach Grant is not in, so I hope that I did message him, so I hope everything is okay.
Kenny's saying, thank you for clarifying, Dr. John. I did not know Wayne Valley's schedule wasn't that strong. And again, listen, I mean, you can only, again, too, like, you got a team like Wayne Valley, right? You're in whatever conference you're in, that's the conference you're in. Now, what Dr. John's talking about, though, too, is going out of, I'm trying to say going out of your conference and
for
playing a different team for that reason.
Yep.
Listen, can that determine? Yeah, because that Wayne Valley road was a lot harder. I mean, you're playing now going as that 3 seed, you got to go to that 2. There is a difference in high school football to go on the road, to travel.
Of course.
So, but you can't just go and say, I'm 11-0. We got back to this standings again. Let's be totally realistic. The best division in football is, the Bergen, the Bosco, so, you can't go and say, as great as Westwood, as great as Caldwell are, they're not going to jump those other schools like a St. Peter's or a Bergen Catholic or a Bosco. They're not going to do it. I mean, St. Peter's has 4 losses, but they're a better team than those other teams. You can't just look and say, there's the John Beelan effect. Well, I'm undefeated. No, it doesn't work like that. So to that effect, I'm going to say no.
So as I was saying, unfortunately, it looks like maybe our guest was unable to make it, Coach Grant. So he's not in the waiting room. We'll keep an eye out for him, of course. Again, I hope everything is okay, and maybe we can reschedule with him at a later time. But did you want to go over our standings really quickly, and then we can bring in Robert. He can talk a little bit about the Rutherford-Westwood game, and then we can do our picks.
Yeah, we'll do that. Okay.
Alrighty, so...
I don't know if I want to do this because I don't have a picture right now. I have to block, so
okay.
We're going to be on twice.
What? Okay, all right.
What I will do, just I don't know, just to see who's leading in the standings today.
Of course. Well, while you're getting that set up, let me recap the records from Week 10. So Kenny, with an impressive performance at 15-3. You came in second place this week at 12-6. I was next at 10-8. Our guest picker was 9-9, and Mr. Beelan, who's definitely taken some chances trying to gain ground, came in last at 8-10.
Yeah, Beelan's Beelan's in desperate mode. I mean, the sad part is if you look like somebody like a tanker. I mean, Beelan at one point was up like 7 games on us, and now he's close to the guest picker.
So, what that did was I was 1 game ahead last week, so your 2-game
I'll just show it
finished. Yeah, I just want to show it real quick.
Boom,
it's okay.
There it is. Kurt 187. And the thing that's nice now, guys, is I got the lead. Everybody you have to chase me. So I don't have to take chances. I'm not going to say I don't have to worry about who you're going to pick, who Kenny's going to pick, who the guest is going to pick. I don't have to worry about that. If I control my own destiny. I have to do what I have to do. I could care less what you do, less what Kenny. It doesn't matter. No strategy anymore.
Oh,
Who's better on the paper? Let's go. And I want to win this. I want to win this thing straight up this year.
What I have to deal with when I was in the lead, I didn't go on any
No,
spiels about it.
no,
I just
it's
graciously accepted.
I'm
being
giving you
in
the
first
philosophy.
Yep, and don't need it. Don't need it. Okay.
Real quick,
Alrighty.
Mr. Kenny saying all in strictly for Kurt. When we do picks, are you all in or not all in that I jump ahead of Beelan in the standings? I'm all in. I am all. I mean,
Wait, you know what's funny, Kenny? So I have your picks here, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 out of the 2, 4, 6, 8, 7 out of the 9 games they have different.
who?
Kenny and Beelan.
Well, Beelan's trying to do. Beelan's.
Well, no, I'm not going to say that for this one because a lot of these games can go either way, right?
Yeah.
So, but yeah, the this week especially. So, that's interesting that you say that, Kenny, because you guys have a lot of differences this week. So.
Here's Dr. John about the Wayne Valley. Wayne Valley didn't have a weak schedule per se, but they also had games that hurt them on strength index. Keep in mind, the Football Conference asked teams for their crossover game requests, and teams can find their own week 0 game. Irvington picked opponents that we knew would help us with playoff positioning. Woodbridge, West Orange, East Orange, Seton Hall Prep, etc. When playing that kind of schedule, teams put themselves in the driver's seat to control their own destiny when it comes to home field advantage.
Yep, great point.
And you know what? Going forward, again,
That's interesting about the week 0 because, like you said, you have to have the crossovers, which kind of like tightens your hands a little bit. But that's interesting that week 0 allows you a lot more flexibility. Thank you, as always, Dr. John, for that inside insight.
And then Kenny saying Kurt's secrets are coming out. Strategy.
Yeah.
No secret.
I'm going to need to borrow that pen from you because I don't have one as I write down our picks for tonight. So should I bring Robert in?
Let's bring him in. We'll talk about the Rutherford. Absolutely.
Rutherford and Westwood game. So let's get him in right now. All right, there he is. Hey, Robert, can you hear us?
Yes, I can.
Oh, can you hear him?
And can you hear me?
I cannot right now.
Okay, let me make sure we don't hear you.
Hold on.
There it is. There we go.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we do.
Perfect. I was beginning to wonder if it was us. We had Coach Breslin 2 weeks in a row that we couldn't hear, and then I was worried that it was something on our end. Welcome back, Robert. Good to see you.
Good to see you guys again. How are you doing tonight?
Very well.
Good.
Thank you. Very well.
You know, I wanted to mention something. I was watching earlier in your show. I agree with you guys about this Franklin deal. These teams have to go all the way down to Franklin near New Brunswick, and then you got the Cherokee situation. It's I think after this season, I think the NJISA is going to have to reevaluate.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if they do, definitely.
And you know what? I just think, like I said, like just for the everyday fan of like, okay, I want to go and see the Westwood Call. I mean, you're going to get obviously your diehards, your people that are involved with that community. But it's like, if that game is, listen, any Montclair State, just say, they're going to get so many more people, I think. I mean, that's just I saw when I was at St. Mary's and we had to go all the way down to, I understand we played St. Joe's of Hamilton, so it's like somewhere close, but I mean, there were so many people, we're not going down all the way there, like, I don't know. That's how I just felt like by doing it. I hated doing it all the time.
Absolutely. Like a William Patterson, Montclair State. Montclair State would have been an excellent site. So I agree.
Kane.
Kane,
Because
they've had state finals at Kane. Like before we went to this group format, they had state finals at Kane as well. Yeah, definitely options, especially in the North Jersey area.
Yep.
So I was a little surprised. But Robert, you were at the Westwood Rutherford game. Would you want to give us a quick recap? Your thoughts? You mentioned it as, if I'm not mistaken, you said to me the best high school football game you've seen. Is that right?
That is correct, guys. I am telling you, it was one of the best high school football games I've ever seen, especially in New Jersey. Obviously, the game of the year for both teams. Obviously, the final play for both teams. Just to give you guys a quick recap of the game, there was no scoring absolutely in the first quarter. I think both teams were trying to feel each other out and trying to play each other out. And of course, Van Weber looked very, very good at the game, really good. But we had no scoring in the first quarter, absolutely whatsoever, which was good. Both teams were filling each other out, trying to find out what's going on. Second quarter, Kobe Lawton from Westwood scores a 14-yard TD run, but the extra point goes wide. wide left. So we have a 6-0 game after the first quarter. Get to the second quarter, and of course, Van Weber with a 6-yard TD run. The kick is good, and we go into halftime at 6 Westwood, 7 Rutherford. So we have a very close game at halftime. Going to the third quarter, Jack Dugan has been an excellent player all year round. Actually, one of the top scorers in New Jersey right now. 16-yard TD run, 2-point. Actually, Westwood goes for a 2-pointer and gets the 2-pointer, which makes up for the loss of the extra point from the previous time, 14-7. Then Ryan Ward, 16-yard TD pass. The kick is good. We have a tie at 14-14 after the third quarter. We got Jack Dugan, the fourth quarter with a TD run. Kick is good, which leaves 3:05 left in the fourth quarter. Van Weber takes over, brings the ball all the way downfield, gives the ball to Cole Gumas, his running back. Oh, excuse me, running back, short pass. He goes in. Now, here's the real good one, folks. This is where it gets really interesting. Coach Dunn decides to go for the 2-pointer. Before he decides to go for the 2-point, he talks to his team, calls an immediate timeout, realizes that is his decision, sends his players back out. Rutherford causes Westwood to create a penalty, offsides for Westwood. Ball is from a 3-yard line to the 1-yard line. Only 1 yard to go for a 2-pointer and for Rutherford to win. Well, they went for it. Did not work. What ended up happening, 6'1", 210-pound sophomore, Dario Mothrin from Westwood, who actually, believe it or not, is a transfer from Don Bosco, stops the play. Absolute chaos. 22 seconds left. Ball is kicked by Rutherford, picked up by Jack Dugan. He go ahead and recovers on an onside kick, lays down. Game is over. Absolute chaos and pandemonium in Rutherford. It was just unbelievable.
Now I have Robert. I have two quick questions for you. One, when we were watching a little bit on the highlights and stuff, it kind of looked like Rutherford thought they got in. I mean, that you heard the fire trucks going on, the kids jumping around. So would you say it was? Would you say it was close? And what was the feeling at first? Did you guys think Rutherford did get in?
Well, I'm going to be honest with you. I was pretty close. I was in the stands on the right side, closer to the side to that area, and I took a look at it. And the first immediate thing I saw was that obviously the Rutherford players were celebrating. The sirens were going off. They were all excited. They had won the ball. They had thought they had won the ball game. But the interesting part is I saw the sideline judge who watched it the whole entire time, and he basically shook his head immediately to the answer of no. They had the referees had decided to get together, and of course, it seemed like a very long time, even though it was only less than about 10 seconds.
Right,
But it seemed like forever because both teams were excited, obviously. But he also did one other thing that signaled everything. He went like this, which means that's how short
Yeah.
that was. A matter of inches, folks. That's how close it was. As soon as he did that and he shook his head, that's when we knew that Westwood had won the game.
And my second part is, because we talked about it before, were you shocked that they didn't have the ball in Weber's hands on that 2-point play? Whether again, run him, throw it, or just that he didn't have the ball.
Touch it. Yeah.
I was absolutely shocked I didn't give him the ball. I was absolutely shocked. But there was an interesting thing about Coach Dunn. Let me tell you something. I got to hand it to Rutherford. You got to give them absolute code. You got to. They had a great. I mean, they had an absolute great season. I would not take anything back against Rutherford. It was a great game. I mean, Westwood, but again, Coach Dunn was interviewed after the game, and he said he would have done that same play 10 times in a row. Yep. He trusted his players, and this is what he did. And you know what? You know what he said? It was a defense that he never saw before in Westwood.
I respect it. I respect it. And you know what? Like you're saying, and their strength of their team was their offense all year. And hey, you go and you say it's a great offense against a great defense, and you get a yard or you don't get a yard.
You practice game situations, right? So like you said there, Robert, he mentioned that he would do that play 10 out of 10 times. Maybe that's something him and his team have practiced for that situation, and that's what he's going to go to. He's not going to, listen, again, I would want to put it in Weber's hands personally, but again, he practiced that for that
Yep.
situation, and he was. You know what? You also have to send that message to your team that yes, that's my best player, but all season long he must have sent the message that this is what we're doing if we come to this. He wasn't going to go back on it at that point.
And you know what? We don't talk about too.
I was so impressed with that team. We did have the opportunity to see them play, and I remember
phenomenal program.
Just high football IQ, and like he could pass Weber on a dime. Oh my gosh, I was so.
But
so
you know what? Too, when
him.
people,
Yes.
there's a lot of people that are just like, oh, well, just kick the extra
to
point. But you
watch.
know what? You got to think. 22 seconds left in a state sectional final. Now you're asking a center, good snap. You're asking the holder, a good hold. You're asking the line to block a Westwood, and you're asking a kicker to kick. That's 4 things that's got to go right. I mean, I'm going to be honest. I'm taking my chance of getting 1 yard. I mean, seriously, I am. Like, you know, now imagine they do that. Now they block the kick, and that's how you lose. So what do you do?
I mean, I got one. Me personally, after watching all this, I would have gone for the extra point, and I would have gone into overtime. I would have gave my players a little bit of a chance. But Coach Dunn, he made that decision because he knew something that everybody else didn't know.
That's it.
So he did it, and you know what? Hats off to Westwood. Congratulations to them. The Cardinals did it. They're going to play on. We're going to talk about this a little bit about them and Caldwell coming up. But I will never take anything away from Rutherford. I'm going to tell you this kid Weber. I believe he's going Rutgers bound. Possibly, we're talking here. I mean, even Coach Dunn mentioned today, if you saw, it was on Twitter or something, I saw something, and he had nothing but praise about this kid.
Oh, he's the real
nothing
deal.
Nothing but praise.
He's the real deal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's the real deal.
Yep.
So there we go, guys.
Robert, we had we got a little delayed with Coach Grant, so we weren't able to bring him in, but he is here. Would you mind if we brought him in? If I put you in the waiting room, and then if you would come back and join us for our picks, would you be?
Sure, absolutely,
okay?
Guys.
All right, let me get you. I'll put you in the waiting room so we don't lose you. All righty.
No problem.
And thank you so much. We'll see
you. Got it.
We'll see you in a little bit. Okay. All righty, and then I can admit Coach Grant.
Yes, you can bring. Yep.
All right, let's
ready
bring
to go.
Coach Grant in.
By the way, there's Amari Smith checking in with us.
Oh,
What's
nice.
going on, Amari?
All right, let's get Coach Grant situated. Hi, Coach. How are you?
Hey, how are you?
Good. Can you hear us okay?
Yeah, I got you.
All right, great. Let me officially introduce you to our audience. We are joined by Coach Darnell Grant from West Orange High School. West Orange is currently 8-3. On Thursday, they defeated previously unbeaten Phillipsburg in the North 2 Group 5 sectional final, capturing, if I'm not mistaken, Coach, your first sectional title in school history for football, correct? Congratulations.
Yes. Congratulations.
And on Sunday, they will have a rematch against PCTI in the Group 5 North, so semifinal for the group, I should say. Coach has been at the helm of West Orange since 2019, and prior to being at West Orange, he was at Shabazz High School in Newark, where he won 2 sectional titles. So, Coach, congratulations, and thank you so much for joining us.
Hey, thank you guys for having me. Really appreciate it.
Coach, again, thank you for coming on, and congratulations on this sectional championship and obviously the first one for the school. So great accomplishment. My first question for you is, you guys are a 6 seed, but honestly, you're not really like a quote unquote 6. You know what I'm saying? It's your schedule. You guys are in a tougher bracket, so you can't really look at that. But being a 6 seed, have you guys played up like that little underdog role of like, you know, we are a 6 seed out of 8, you know, and not a 1 or 2. But you guys keep winning. Have you guys played up that little underdog role at all?
Well, you know, you're always looking to motivate the kids. And, you know, for us, I mean, we had a lot of adversity in the early part of the season. We lost our quarterback, Amir Stewart, for the first 5 games. You know, we suffered a couple losses to some really tough teams. Like all 3 of our losses were teams that were at some point in the top 20 in the state this year. So for us, it was like, you know what? We haven't hit our stride yet. We hadn't played our best ball. And I'm like, well, listen, I told the guys right before this playoff starts, I said, listen, I'm not finished coaching you guys yet, but I hope you're not finished playing. Let's go on this run. Let's see what we can do. And the kids bought in and being underdogs and road warriors, and I mean, it's paid off so far.
That's awesome. Coach, we love to give notoriety to as many programs and players on our show as possible. Would you be able to highlight some of your players that have played pivotal roles for you this season?
Oh, definitely. It starts with our trigger man, Amir Stewart. He's also a baseball standout. Like I said, he missed the first 5 games. He's come back, answered back with over 200 yards passing and I think 13 or 14 touchdowns, something like that. Sabor Kareem, another guy, has been an awesome player for us. I think candidate for player of the year in the state, maybe. He's an Illinois commit. He's 14 or 15 touchdowns, almost 1,000 yards receiving. Hopefully, he'll break that this weekend. He's been awesome for us on both sides of the ball. Jarvis Jones, another guy, the UConn commit. He's also had a great year. I mean, he was known he's a commit as a receiver, but this year he's been really instrumental in defensive end for us. He had 3 sacks our last game. He was Jets Player of the Week and a couple other different things. He was notarized, got some notoriety for this week. Jizzly Auguste, is another big guy for us. He's a Georgia Tech commit. He's been playing lights out on the defensive line for us. So is Jinzen Toze, Jay Straker, Mason Malloy, Adonis White. I mean, I can go all night with the guys who, for us, have just played pivotal roles and made so many decent plays for us.
That's great.
Coach, how helpful is it that you guys played PCTI already this season?
I mean, you know what? It helps in a way, but it doesn't because we're not the same team. I mean, our philosophy, we want to throw the football. And without our quarterback, we weren't able to be as explosive as we needed to be. So for us, I mean, I don't know. They haven't seen a game plan like we're going to present to them Sunday. And it's going to be really curious. It's going to be a chess match early to find out how they're going to stop us and how we're going to be able to prepare for them.
Coach, I'm going to kind of piggyback off of Kurt's question a little bit. And if you could speak to what you see as some of PCTI's strengths that you guys are preparing for, and then also what your keys to victory will be.
Oh, man. Well, their run game, man. The Dye brothers are awesome players, man. I love the way they play. I love the way they approach the game. They have the other young man, number 1, I believe his number is. He's been getting the ball a lot more lately. He's electrifying. He's very, very just explosive. They have a great punter. He flips the field just about every time he goes out there. And they're tough on defense. They're stout. And you look at their scores, even in the losses, they haven't let up a lot of points. We were only able to get 6 on the first time. So, again, they're a tough physical team with a hard-nosed running style, a great coach. It's going to be a real test for us on Sunday.
Coach, we got a comment from Dr. John Taylor, AD at Irvington. Congrats on your championships, Coach. So well deserved. On a personal level, I have learned so much from you during our long conversations. You've taught me a lot regarding how to support coaches and as a byproduct support student athletes. I use things we've talked about each day to improve the experience for the staff and students. I'm a big fan of yours, and tell Mama Grant I said hello. Dr. John Taylor.
JT, that's my guy, man. I mean, he's a great AD at Irvington. That's my alma mater. It's my hometown.
Oh, get out. Nice.
Yes, that's where I was my first head coaching job. I was there from 2002 to 2009. We were really successful there. That's always home for me. I'm at heart. I'm just an Irvington kid.
So wait a minute.
Wait, my dad graduated from Irvington also.
Wow.
So
what year? You're gonna make me feel old. What year? Do you know?
Oh no, I'll probably make you feel young. If my father's watching, I'm sorry. Mm-hmm. I'm trying to think what year he graduated. That's a good question.
She just threw her father right under the bus with the age.
Yeah, he sure did.
I'm not saying anything.
My father probably doesn't want me to share his year of graduation, actually.
Okay. I hear you. That's a great place, man. A lot of really good people came out of that place.
Amari Smith, our good friend down in Michigan, saying salute, Coach. Robert saying congratulations to Coach Grant. They deserve the championship. Good luck in the state semifinals. But I guess here's my little odd question. Something's going on because last year Irvington first state sectional title. Coach Grant from Irvington. West Orange first state. Who's next year? Someone's going to be next year. That Irvington's in that thing that's going to give that school.
Hey,
thing,
Hey, Irvington produces some great players and some pretty good coaches as well, man. My brother Barris Grant, head coach at Hillside, he won 3 titles, 3 sectionals. He's an alum as well. Raheem Morris, defense coordinator for the Rams.
Yeah,
Irvington alum as well, man. I mean, that's always been. I mean, there's a lot of talent. I don't think there's any place that small that's produced so many people who really love and are active in the game of football.
What's funny is last week, actually, because we do picks every week, and Dr. John is a great friend of the show, and he gave us the tidbit about you and your brother being the Hillside coach. You guys were each playing in the state sectional semifinals. That's so exciting. Mm-hmm. And he did mention, what would Mama Grant do if you guys were playing against each other? Has that happened?
Well, it's easy for her. Well, her and my dad. So my dad, the last time it happened in 2017, we were playing for sectional titles at the same time, so they kind of split forces. My mom will go to one game, my dad will go to the other. They'll be on the phone with each other the entire time. So, for us, that's a big thing. Luckily for us, I mean, this year the games ended up being moved, so they got the chance to go to both games.
Oh,
but
nice. Yeah.
God forbid you guys were coaching against each other in a state sectional championship. Then what are they doing?
I don't know. I hope I never find out. That would be we're pretty competitive in our house. Yeah.
Dr. John's also saying Coach Grant led Irvington to our first ever sectional title game appearance in 2006. He's a member of the Irvington Hall of Fame, and in 2021 went into the NJSIAA Hall of Fame. Congratulations.
Coach. Yes.
Thank you.
So, Coach, my last question, it seems like, you get some teams and it's like, they're a good team, but, it has to be a low-scoring game. They're not going to outscore somebody, or whether it's, if it's a shootout, it's good for them. But I think with you guys can win both ways. Like, if it is a shootout, you guys got the firepower to, hey, we have to outscore them. But I think you also can win a defensive battle if you guys need to be. So how nice is it to have, like, a team that could do both?
I guess, it's a double-edged sword. We've been in all those kind of games this year, so it's been our kids, they're just so gritty, man. They're gamers, and they just want to win. They're going to play, and they'll fight all 48 minutes. And that's what I love about this team and these kids, man. It doesn't matter. We always say anybody, any place, anywhere. And that's just our mantra. That's what we believe in. We'll play anybody. We'll play with anyone. And to our kids, they just do whatever it takes.
Coach, my last question for you before we get to a fun little segment we call Rapid Fire. At the start of our show tonight, we briefly mentioned, the tragedy at the University of Virginia involving their 3 football players. And, but I made the point of, saying Coach Elliott there and what he's done to be a leader of men, right? And in times of adversity, and how athletics just teaches us so much more than winning and losing, right? And I was reading about when you were hired in West Orange, and it really struck me how they were excited to have you because you would encourage your student athletes to be excellent students and good citizens as well. So I was wondering if you could talk a little bit about your goals and expectations for your student athletes, both on and off the field.
So I always say I'm in the production business, right? And what's our product? Our product is great student athletes who are going to go out and leave us and do fantastic things in the real world. For us, it's really simple. I want my young men to have an understanding of their place in the community, and that the fact that they're also public figures, they're being looked at and looked upon. The second thing, I like for them to have just an understanding of what's coming behind them and who they're being a role model for. And the last, I'd like them to be confident. I told my I like insanely confident young men to go out and believe they can. So we put them through a whole bunch of adversity. We create adversity for them. We put them in a lot of teachable moments so that when they go out in the real world and after us, they're able to cope and have mechanisms and have a support system that they can use after.
That's great. Thanks, Coach. All right, we're ready to roll into a little rapid fire.
Ready.
These are a little more fast-paced, with fun questions, if you will. All right, you're up.
All right, game day. Baseball hat, visor, or no hat?
Visor.
Oh, all right.
There you go.
All right, Coach, speaking of game day, do you have any pre-game rituals or superstitions that you adhere to?
Yeah, I only chew big red gum during the games.
Nice.
All right.
Good choice.
First reaction when that clock struck 0 the other day and you guys are sectional champions.
Well, I was running because I didn't want to get wet with the Gatorade bucket, because I've been blessed enough to win a few championships, and there is nothing worse on a long bus ride than wet underwear. That's like the worst thing ever.
Sticky,
I'm not riding an hour wet drawers, which wasn't doing it.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Coach, what is the most used emoji that you have on your phone? What emoji do you use the most?
I think the thumbs up. I think the thumbs up is the one I use the most. As usually kind of universal. It says a lot without saying a lot. If that makes sense to you guys.
Okay, my last one. Favorite NFL football team?
Dallas Cowboys, without a doubt.
All right, so you're a believer in Dak?
Yes.
Okay.
All right, and who is your prediction for the Super Bowl champion this year?
Dallas Cowboys. Well, come on.
We could have just saved that question.
All right, Coach, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate your time, especially as you're still in season and so busy. And best of luck the rest of the way.
Thanks for having me, guys. You guys
Congratulations, Coach.
And congrats again.
Thank you. Take care.
Good night.
Okay, Coach Grant.
Right.
West Orange. And hey, you know what? Like it's we talk about like when we had Dr. John with them first sectional championship. I mean, that's something again that school will always be remembered. That football team's always going to be remembered for bringing that championship.
100%.
You know.
And you know what? There's so many great coaches. There's so many great teams. Just look at this year in particular. You know how many teams fell short, you know, and so it's hard to do. It's really hard to do.
Dr. John's also saying, Jen and Kurt, you may want to follow up with Coach Grant in the spring. I'm nearly 100% sure they'll be selected as a new girls flag football program.
Oh, awesome.
There you
awesome.
go.
Very nice. Thanks. Oh, again, with the inside tip. All right, I'm going to bring Robert back in
All
and
right.
we can get to our picks for
Let's do it.
The week.
Let's do it, baby.
Make sure we get him back in. All right, perfect. All
Okay.
right. Hi, Robert. Welcome back.
Hey guys, that was a great interview.
He was awesome. That was great. Again, one of the things I love about interviewing the coaches is just they do so much more than, you know, again, we talk about those life lessons for kids and stuff, and he's another great example of being a great role model and, you know, setting a great example for his kids. So nice. All right, Robert, we're going to roll into our week 12 picks. All right. We like to start with our guest picker, if that's all right. So I'll read you the game that we have on the sheet, and then you can give us who your pick is. All right, sound good?
Sounds great. Let's go.
We're going to start with the North Group 1 semifinals, and that has number 2 Mountain Lakes versus number 2 Weequake. Who do you have?
I believe it or not, I have Mountain Lakes. They just been on a roll this playoffs and this season. I'm going to go with Mountain Lakes to advance. In that semifinal round.
All right. Well, Mr. Beelan agrees with you. He's picking Mountain Lakes as well. Kenny's changed up his did we lose?
We might have lost them.
Oh. Let me see. Oh, no, he's still there. I think his camera might have got. Let me make sure it wasn't me who turned his camera off by
Has to start video.
Yeah, I'm looking for it. There it is. Okay. I apologize if that was me because I was moving my papers. I don't know for sure.
Okay.
So, Kenny's changed it up a little bit. Sorry, Robert, if that was me who hid your camera there. It might have been because I did swipe my trackpad there. Kenny's changed it up. He's not giving comments, just scores. So he has Weequake by a score of 30-27.
Okay.
Ooh.
I have to tell you, I had 2 games on my list that I had kept going back to, and this was one of them. Because I agree with you. I think Mountain Lakes has been on a great run, but I just can't get past the fact that Weequake really doesn't give up a lot of points. And we say defense wins championships, so I'm going Weequake.
You know what? I'm gonna take Weequake
Ooh,
too.
interesting.
I think they're gonna big play Mountain Lakes, where I think Mountain Lakes wants to kind of slow it down, but I could see Weequake like, you know, big 60-yard run here, 70-yard run. So I'm gonna go with Weequake too. First time I've gone against Mountain Lakes all year long.
All right. Our next one is the North Group 2 semifinals, and that is your team that you've been following so closely all year long, Robert. Westwood, their number 2 that came out of their side of the North versus Caldwell. Who do you have in this one?
Well, you know, there's going to be a lot of writers out there, and you know, yeah. By the way, the actual rankings came out. The actual state rankings came out today on USA Today and NorthJersey.com. We have Caldwell at number 8 in the state, and Westwood number 9. So they're like right neck to neck, guys. I'm always a philosopher that when it comes to winning games, defense is really good. So if defense is really good and outstanding, you pretty much know I'm going to go for. A lot of writers are going to disagree with me, but I think Westwood's going to break their 26-game winning streak. I think this is it. This might be the year for them, and I'm going to go with Westwood.
You know what? They have revenge on their mind, you know,
Yep.
from last year. It could be. I mean, all these games this week were really tough to pick. I feel like anything can go either way. So, but I stuck with Caldwell on this one. I've just been so impressed with them. But again, not to say that Westwood can't do it. Mr. Beelan is picking Caldwell as well, and Kenny agrees with you, Robert. He's picking Westwood.
All right, this game is so hard for me because I said I am at the Ramsey game. I will not go against Westwood anymore. I'm not going to do it. I saw what they did against a good Ramsey team. I saw what they did against a good Rutherford team. but I saw Caldwell versus Newton. I don't want to pick this game. I really don't. But when I watched Caldwell, I just said, listen to me. I honestly think this is going to be the best game of the playoffs. I really truly do, because I think both of these teams can win. And I think, again, the winner of this game is the state champion. No disrespect to the South, but these are two of the best teams. But I am taking Caldwell. What state is it? This is for all New Jersey. Amari's asking, this is for all Jersey. I'm going to take Caldwell. See, if I hope I'm wrong, then we're all wrong. It don't hurt me on my pick segment. But I got to win this thing, so I'm going to take Caldwell. But listen, Westwood, these are two of the best teams in the state, like you said. So,
be a great game.
It's going to be a great game.
All right, so we did Group 1, North Group 1 semifinals, North Group 2. Now we're on to North Group 3, Robert, that has Old Tappan and West Morris, the respective 1 seeds from each of their sections. Who do you have in this one?
Look, guys, all due respect, West Morris had a great season and everything, but look at Old Tappan just rolling along. I mean, the coach there, the players there, they're just unbelievable. I'm going to have to go, because I know the team they're going to have to face for the South. I always got some picks from the South who are going to face, but I think Old Tappan is going to advance in this game. I really do.
Kenny agrees with you there, Robert. He's picking Old Tappan as well. This was the second game that I had that I just couldn't decide. Back and forth. I left the Mountain Lakes a week blank. I left the Old Tappan and West Morris. I kept coming back, revisiting. I wound up going ultimately with West Morris. The reason was I felt like they'd been in some closer games, and I feel like at this point, if they keep it close, they've already been a little tested with that. That was really what the tipping point for me. Mr. Beelan chose West Morris, and who do you have there, Mr. Valenti?
I watched the West Morris and West Essex game, and listen, it was in a bad weather, and West Essex always, has traditionally good defense, and West Morris in that second half just ran the ball right down their throat. I'm going to take West Morris in this. I think again, this is one of those games, Robert, and you could disagree with me on this. If I think if it gets into a shootout, I think that's more of Old Tappan. But I think if West Morris can ugly this game and get into like a physical run game, I think West Morris can win. And I'm going to take that because that's what you kind of tend to have here. So I'm going to go West Morris. Well, you're trying to go against me, right? You're trying to find something. She's trying to find something I didn't do.
I'm just gonna, pick the best I can. But I am down 1 now, Robert. So I need us to differ on something.
There you go.
Catch 'em.
There you go.
All right. So that moves on to North Group 4, where we have Northern Highlands and North Hunterdon. How about this one, Robert? Who's your pick here?
Boy, I'll tell you, I know there's another Northern Highlands fan. He's right in front of me. He's smiling because no, but any case, I honestly think, sorry, Northern Highlands fans, but North Hunterdon is going to advance in this game over Northern Highlands. That's what I feel.
Mr. Beelan agrees with Robert. He's picking North Hunterdon as well, as am I. Again, so impressed with Northern Highlands. Coach Corey's done a great job there. I do think that North Hunterdon is gonna pull this one out. Kenny is picking Northern Highlands, and how about you?
A couple things on my pick here. One, Coach Cord, he has that he wins big games. He did it in Ridgewood when he took over for Coach Johnson. Mm-hmm. He not only won the section, he went on. They beat Union, that undefeated Union team. And in my opinion, I'm going to be honest. Last week, everybody went against Northern Highlands, including us, saying they're not going into Ramapo. You have the revenge factor from last year on Coach Gibbs Field in Ramapo. Not only that, they're up 14 points. Ramapo scores 28 straight points. Now they're down 14 points, and we're sitting and I'm watching that game in Atlantic City at the convention. I'm saying they're done. The next thing you know, 2 plays, touchdown, 3 and out, touchdown, come back, touchdown. It's just like to get this team, it's so you know what, I'm going Highlands, man. I just think it's something like to knock this team out, it's so hard. I don't know if they're the more talented team, but this team just finds a way to win. So I am going to officially take, here you go, Jen, here's your game that we're different. Northern Highlands.
Could get us
And
that.
and to comment, the lights went out twice during the
And,
game. If
and
you
the
watched
lights
the
went
game.
out twice.
Crazy. All right, moving on to group.
Can you, real quick, Robert, could you imagine if they were like, I was reading a couple things where it said they might have to come back. Can you imagine if they had to go back on Friday to play that
Finish
game
that
or
game?
finish
Oh
that
my
game?
God.
And I was thinking about that during that game when those lights went out the second time. I said, "Uh-oh,
What are they
we
gonna
could be
do?
going
Right,
into another
exactly.
game
They
here."
can't
Yeah.
fix it. All right, moving on to Group 5, our final public school matchup. We have PCTI, who is the 1 seed from their side, and Coach Grant's West Orange team coming at the number 6 seed from their side. Who do you have here, Robert?
I'm actually, not because the coach was on here tonight, and drum roll, please, but believe, I actually honestly believe, going over the numbers, that West Orange is going to have a major upset over Passaic Tech. They're just on a roll. The coach has done, before you even had coach on tonight, what an amazing job they've done this year. I mean, they really have the players this year, and surprising in being a 6 seed, but it doesn't matter with them. They're actually gonna upset Passaic Tech and go on in advance.
Mr. Beelan agrees with you. We have John Beelan choosing West Orange. I'm going to go PCTI. Again, great insight from Coach earlier, that they had hit some adversity early in the season, and that it's all about peaking at the right time, right? So, and his team is doing just that, and I wish him the best of luck. But I've kind of been on the PCTI bandwagon all season long. I kind of felt like there's something special about this team. We did see them against Clifton. I was very impressed when we saw them there. And I just feel like they've been able to pull them out. Again, some close games, seeing really good competition the whole season through. It's going to be interesting. Again, another game I think can go either way. But I'm going to go PCTI. So is Kenny is going PCTI?
Yeah, this was, listen, we talked to Coach Grant, and you're like, I mean, man, like playing for that guy. And like you said, Robert, they're super athletic. But you know what? I just think this might be Kenny saying, I must say I'm proud of his adopted team's PCTI. This is it's a championship game, right? Like, it's so defense wins championships, and
it does.
So and that PCTI defense, man, just locks you down. I'm gonna go again. I could easily see West Orange winning this game, but for the show, I'm gonna take PCTI and their defense in this game. But like you said, Jen, this can go either way.
All right, now we're going to move on to our non-public brackets, which are in the semifinals. So we have the first side of the non-public A, which is number 1 Don Bosco playing number 5 Seton Hall Prep.
Well, guys, what a mix-up this last weekend was with all these parochial schools. I mean, who expected that St. Joe's was going to drop? Who expected that St. Peter's was going to drop? I mean, which made the whole scheme of this whole thing just completely different. Anyway, Don Bosco Prep, Seton Hall Prep. I'm going to have to give it to, being that I'm an alumni from Don Bosco Prep myself, but I'm just saying that, anyway, Don Bosco Prep's going to win this game over Seton Hall Prep.
I agree. This is the season that we talked about Bergen Catholic early in the year until they get beaten, right? I kind of feel like Bosco, I'm kind of giving it away. What I'm going to say is going to be a Bosco-Bergen rematch. So I'm going with Bosco. Mr. Beelan's going with Bosco. Kenny's going with Bosco. Are you going to make it our first? This would be our first unanimous pick of
we're
the
sweeping
night.
this one, Robert. Like you said, Bosco, and what you were saying, Jen, like, I remember talking to Darren Cooper last year when we had him, and then we were, just talking to a couple people always saying, like, this was going to be Bosco's year. Like, they had a lot of kids back, the quarterback's back. But I'm with you. I'm going to sweep the board. I think Bosco. I mean, again, they played. It's not going to be a blowout. I think it'll be a close game. I mean, Coach Fitzpatrick over there does a great job. Fitzgerald. So they, they're going to come to play. But I'm going to take Bosco at home.
I agree. All right. The other side of that bracket is number 6 Del Barton versus number 2 Bergen Catholic.
Well, congratulations to Del Barton so far this year. They've just surprised a lot of people, although they got a great team, but it's definitely going to be Vito Campanelli's Bergen Catholic. They're going to advance.
I agree, Robert. I think that Bergen Bosco matchup in the finals is
inevitable.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
But like you said, hats off to Del Barton. I coached with Coach Gallagher, the assistant coach there in Montville. They do a great job. We had them on the show this year. Kenny's one of Kenny's adopted teams. He did pick that upset last week. Want to make sure we give him props for that. So, but we might sweep the board here too. I'm going Bergen Catholic. Kenny's going Bergen Catholic.
Yep, I'm going Bergen Catholic. You know, like we saw them versus St. Peter's. I mean, their offense, you know what it is? Like their offense took a while this year to get going, but now they're two quarterback system. They're running the ball. They're obviously they got one of the best defenses in the state. So I'm going to take Bosco with you guys.
All right, now we hop on over to the non-public B, the 4 remaining teams there. This one so far has been all chalk, right up my alley. We've got number 1, Red Bank Catholic versus number 4, Holy Spirit. And KV was the only one who picked Holy Spirit last week, I believe. So props to you on that one.
That's fantastic. I mean, Holy Spirit. I mean, I'm looking at their numbers too, and they just had a great season this year. But I think it's Red Bank Catholic that's going to advance and go to MetLife.
I agree with you, Robert. I'm picking Red Bank Catholic, as is Kenny. This is the only one where I feel like Mr. Beelan's trying to maybe gain some ground. He went with the upset on this one. He picked Holy Spirit.
By the way, Kenny's saying, Jen, I think it will be close in the first half, but then Bergen's going to pull away.
So he's getting his little little tidbits in there.
Yeah, I agree with Robert on this 100%. I mean, Holy Spirit is a great team. You know, they play down south. We'll get into the St. Joe's Hamilton game next. But I just think Red Bank Catholic is just on a different level over there. And I think we may see the rematch of Red Bank DePaul. We may be able to see that. So I'm going to take Red Bank in this one.
Which brings us to our last one. We have number 2 DePaul against number 3 St. Joe's of Hamilton. Robert, who's your pick here?
Boy, I'll tell you, these are really two close teams, and both had an excellent season. But I'm going to have to go with DePaul to meet Red Bank Catholic at MetLife. I think DePaul's a little bit better team to take over.
I agree. I'm picking DePaul as well. Again, I just think they're they play in the non-public B, but they play a lot of those top teams in that non-public A bracket, and I think it just gets them ready for the state tournament competition. Not to take anything away from St. Joseph Hamilton, because all I know about St. Joseph Hamilton is what they've done to Kurt when he was coaching at St. Mary's. But I don't know if they're I'll leave that to you. If they're the same juggernaut that they were, then. So I'm going to go DePaul.
Okay.
Mr. Beelan's going DePaul. Kenny is picking St. Joseph Hamilton, and your choice is...
if you guys remember, Robert, I picked St. Joseph Hamilton to win this bracket.
Right.
But you know what? Then my mind kind of got a little thing. And you know what? I like Jen said, I was at St. Mary's for 7 years. We played them 4 times in a state championship game. We can never get by them. And you know what? Coach Sacco there, they have 27 state championships. 27. I mean, he can go on he could put him on his toes, his hands. He doesn't need another one. And don't get me wrong. I mean, a great coach there, what he built over there, but he's retiring this year.
Yeah.
So, but you know what? There's no way. Just like Heights, I'm not picking St. Joe's. I don't want them to win, so I'm going to go with my heart here. But I do agree with you guys. I think DePaul, you look at where it says DePaul, and, they lost 28-25 just to Bosco. They're losing how many games to number 1, number 2, number 3 in the state? So I'm with you. I am going with Bosco. DePaul to beat St. Joe's. Omari saying, I have a brother who coaches in Maryland. They are tough. Kenny saying, nice. Off the air, maybe we can talk to Jen and Kurt and invite him on an upcoming show.
To.
Yeah, absolutely.
That'd be great. We've had Omari,
out of state.
just so he knows, we've had out of state people. We've had Maryland on. We've had New York. We've had Florida.
Colorado.
We've had Colorado. We've had somewhere else. Where was the guy from? The book, he wrote the book, I can't remember, somewhere
North Dakota or somewhere like
more
that.
Like Midwest. Yeah, so absolutely, we'd love to do that. Thank you. All right, so there we have it, our picks for the week. Robert, before we go, is there any closing thoughts you wanted to give, even looking further ahead into the state tournament that you wanted to share with us before we go?
I just want to wish all the teams good luck in the state semifinals. They're all excellent teams. And just as a note, I will be at the Caldwell Westwood game down there, and I'll see you guys. I'll see whoever down there, and go Cardinals. I hope everything works out for everyone. And remember, guys, to all the teams out there, even if they don't advance in the next round, they're still all champions.
They are. That's a great
Absolutely.
point,
Yep,
Robert.
yep,
Great
yeah.
point.
Robert, as
So
always, thank you so much for your time. We appreciate
you're
having you
welcome.
on, your time, and of course your expertise.
Oh, well, thank you guys. It was a great time. It was a pleasure having you guys again, seeing you guys again.
Thank you, Robert.
We'll talk to you soon.
Take care.
All right, that was great insight by Robert. And again, listen, he called Westwood from day one, and I mean, again, a fascinating game. That Westwood Caldwell game is just, I'm pumped up to watch that game. I really am, because you know what, and again, not that other teams were, but I'm telling you this: Westwood's not going. I don't care if that's 126. They're not going to be intimidated one bit going and playing Caldwell.
100%. And
at all.
Yeah.
We had Dugan on last week. We had Coach Hart on. Like, that team's ready to go, man.
Yep.
So they're ready to go.
First, they captured the sectional title, which they lost to Caldwell last year. So not only did they get to earn the sectional title, then they get the opportunity to then avenge, the Caldwell loss as well. So I'm sure they are up to the task, 100%. And Coach will have them ready to go. All right, well, thank you, everybody, for watching. Good luck to the teams playing. Thank you again to Coach Grant for joining us. We really appreciate it. And, of course, to our guest picker, Robert Sauerwein.
And we'll see everybody next week.